So we already did that. So what is DQMH? Well, the D stands for Delacor, the Q for queued, M for message handler. Now, while we were doing some crazy things to see, because a lot of people don't know this, but you can customize your DQMH modules. You don't have to use the one that we provide to you. You can create your own templates. So in that vein of creating templates, somebody put the gauntlet to us to see if we could make a template that only had the event structure. And we did. And so we were laughing because we really did not name the Delacor queue message handler well. It should have been called the Delacor event message handler, because you can have a DQMH module without a queue, but you cannot have a DQMH module without events. Well, that said, that's probably more information than you needed, but I'm trying to make jokes. It is really hard because I don't have an audience, but
everybody's
anyhow,
muted, so you can't hear us laughing.
Yeah, I see a couple of faces, so that does help a little bit. So where did this come from? Originally, it was just a marketing thing. It was just a way for us to show what we could do. We kept telling our customers, hey, we can automate your framework, or we can create tools to make to help your team work on the same style. And it's really hard for somebody that has not seen it to understand what we were talking about. So we took the NIQ message handler and automated that, converted that, like showed what we could do to existing framework. And that was it, right? It was meant like that. We never expected that people were going to be like, forget about my framework, I'm going to use yours. Or I don't have a framework, so I want to use yours. And the whole path that we were going to go with DQMH changed. But the idea was we wanted something that was accessible to CLDs, that a CLA or an intern, in Jeff's case, could contribute to a DQMH project. We wanted something that was familiar to, like, anybody that has taken the LabVIEW core training. We wanted to include the automating tools because we really believe on developer experience. When anybody tells me that they actually smile when they use DQMH, you make my day. Because that was one of my biggest goals, was that you would enjoy using the tool and be like, yeah, this is cool that I don't have to go declare an event and all the stuff that it does for you. It uses LabVIEW object-oriented programming, but does not require understanding it, although you can leverage it. Works with Testan, and each module has an API tester. I think that's one of the biggest advantages. And one of the reasons that it's an advantage is because we make the tools guide you to do what we believe is the right thing, which is test as you go. When you create a new event, the first thing that you see on your face is the API tester. So how is it that you're going to test this, right? So we start, it's not only that everybody in the team has the same style, but you know that everybody is being nudged in the same direction to do a good practice, which would be like, for example, testing your code. All right. It's free. It was launched during 2015. It won Tools Network Product of the Year in 2016. We couldn't win it again because you only get allowed to win it 1 year. And the one thing I'm going to say about the license, there are some companies that work on defense or aerospace that can, on even automotive, some companies in automotive are not allowed to use free tools or are not allowed to use products that have specific licenses. So if you are in that situation and you really want to use DQMH and the only thing that is stopping you is the license, please contact me. I'm not going to be anyone to stop you from giving me money for a free product. So that would definitely help us keep maintaining the product. We have a couple of customers that we have done that. The price of the license is going to depend on how many lawyers we have to get involved and getting the license figured out. But we can totally work with you. So if that has been something that has stopped you, we don't announce it on the website because I don't want people to start thinking, oh, she's going to start charging for DQMH. I promised since the beginning that DQMH was going to be free and it's going to stay free. It doesn't matter the size of the company that you work at. It really just boils down to if the license is the thing that's preventing you from using it. All right. Any questions so far? And I'm nervous, so I'm probably going really fast. So can everybody understand what I'm saying? Do I need to slow down? We're good?
So far, so good.
Okay. Nobody has passed.
Clear.
No, nobody with a camera has passed out. The ones that don't have a camera, that's another story. But all right. So that was one of the questions. See, I already had it on the slides. Learn DQMH. So this was a question that we kept getting. I would laugh because I would get messages on email of people telling me, okay, so I saw the videos, I saw the YouTube channel, I saw the documentation, I've been to your presentations, is there anything else? And I would be like, what else do you want? So now we have the book. Well, we realized pretty quickly that it was more, it's not necessarily that we don't have the stuff that you need to learn DQMH. It was more than you don't know where to start, right? When Java started putting people to say, go through these videos, it got to a point where you had to actually say, watch the videos in certain order, right? It can no longer just let me put you on the channel and then just learn your own. So what we did is on DQMH 5.0, we added a section on the documentation that is called How to Learn DQMH. And we have two big paths, self-paced or instructor-led online or instructor-led on site, which of course cannot be done at the moment. And also we post other learning resources, like there's a post on our forum, and there's the chapter 5 on the book, and there's also a tutorial series by Tom. He goes at a very nice pace. I even have to speed him up, where, like I said earlier, you have to slow me down on the videos. But he has a really good, and he presents it in a different way. So if you are having problem understanding the way I introduce DQMH, he does a really, really good job. So the paths for learning, well, all of the learning paths require that you know what a queue is, that you know what a producer consumer is, and that you're familiar with the National Instruments queue message handler. So that's something you need to know, and you need to know what dynamic events are. And not just is material that comes from the LabVIEW core. The other 4 paths is going to depend on how you plan to use DQMH. If you know that your team is going to, if you're comfortable learning with generic terms, with not something that you can touch, if you're okay with us using do something else, and stuff like that, and then you can definitely use the path number 1. If you are the type of person that needs to learn with something that reflects something specific, like something you're familiar with, like acquisition, then you can learn by using the continuous measurement and logging example that we provide. And then if you only need to learn DQMH because you're going to be working with a team that is going to give you the API of a DQMH to use, then you can go to learning path number 3. And if only you're going to be using DQMH with TestN, then you can do learning path number 4. So whoever asked that question on how you can learn DQMH, do you think this would help? Or is there something else we need to do? No, nobody wants to jump in on that?
Yes.
Yeah, Javier, you think this would have helped when you started?
Yeah, it definitely would. I think just as I saw it, learning path 2 is the one that I would probably lean on.
Mm-hmm.
But the question mainly comes because Ulysses, who should be in the back here on the other camera, he had disagreements with Jeff on how to start it, because since we do it with interns, it's somewhat easier to start with inside the module, and then we go on how the modules communicate with one another. But because Jeff is so high level, he skips a lot of stuff, which is understandable.
See,
But
mainly examples. It's what we needed at the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's why we added the continuous measurement logging example.
Yeah, that's part.
Yeah, what else, Karen? Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that it's perfect. I mean, we saw the videos and we heard about a lot of how everything works and how everything flows. But it was okay. Now let's do this. And then it's all like, So
we don't know where
yeah,
to start. Yeah.
yeah. But with this, I think that it will help a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, and then there's the, like I said, the instructor-led online class. Sam Taggart from SAS Workshops has been announcing some DQMH online trainings that he has been giving. You could also contact Delacour. We do the training through the SH workshops, and we focus more on training people from the same company, because then we can do a custom project. Where if you're taking the generic training with Sam, it's going to be people from different companies, so it's going to have to be more of a generic project, which is the continuous measurement and learning example. All right, so there's that.
I will say though that for Ulysses and Karen, when they, because we didn't have that, they were also like my first interns that were across a border. So it was it was a learning experience for me too, to try and train them thousands of miles away, as well as them learning at the same time. So this will be
But at
helpful.
the end, we did it great.
Yeah.
So.
And Karen, Javier, Ulises, anybody who's joining from, I'm picking my phone because there is a Telegram group. I didn't even know that Telegram existed. Let me find it. That that maybe Mar, or maybe, I don't know how to pronounce her name, from Peru. She's from Venezuela, but she lives in Peru. So the name of the group is LabVIEW LA for Latin America, and it is in Spanish. And I do follow that group. So sometimes there are questions there if you have questions, and those are in Spanish. I'm trying to convince them to start a user group. So so we would have people answering questions in Spanish. So if you have problem finding it, just, Jeff can give you my email, or you know where to get a hold of me, Fabiola@delacour.com.